Back live with you tonight in Focus, and thanks for staying on. It's touted as the premier science event for policymakers and scientists. The biannual World Science Forum is hosted in Cape Town this year. For the first time, the event is being hosted on African soil, which has made discussions around science for humanity and sustainability development more pressing. Our reporter Natalie Malgas was in conversation with the Higher Education Minister at the symposium.
The South African science fraternity is well respected around the world, so it's no coincidence that the first time the World Science Forum is hosted in Africa, it's hosted here in South Africa and in Cape Town, no less. I'm joined by Minister Bladen Zamande right now. Minister, my first question to you, we've seen our scientific prowess during the COVID pandemic. We're slap bang in the middle of an energy crisis. How can our scientists help? What are some of the strategies at play to mitigate the impacts of the electricity crisis?
Natalie, thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me, and let me also greet your viewers and listeners. Well, let me start by saying that the fact that this World Science Forum is being held in South Africa, which is the first for the African continent, is a huge vote of confidence in us and the contribution that we've played. As you also are saying, in COVID-19, we're the first to identify new variants that also help to inform the rest of the world. And one of the things we are showcasing through this World Science Forum is capacity of South Africa to produce green hydrogen. We had a 3-day parallel session that we were actually holding here to say South Africa is ready to actually produce green hydrogen. We've got lots of advantages insofar as that is concerned. Now, green hydrogen is the new source of energy, which will actually enable us then to do what we call the just energy transition. Transitioning from fossil fuels like coal, oil, into renewables that are much more healthier and also will protect our climate better. So science is of fundamental importance. To explain it simply, hopefully it is, hydrogen is generated by taking water and to separate hydrogen from oxygen, because water is a combination of oxygen and hydrogen. So you take hydrogen, then you are actually able, through what we call electrolyzers, turn it into green hydrogen, into either fuel cells or into gas, in order to be able to power just about anything. That's one of the future sources of renewable energies there. And science has been very crucial in that regard.
Minister, we heard from your opening address, and again it was reiterated with the President's opening address, that much of the discussions that are had here shouldn't just be a talk shop. It shouldn't just be about the work being done in silos and in labs, but they should have very real changes and implications for the people at large, the people of South Africa and the African continent. Does that translate into job creation too?
It translates into a lot of things. Firstly, just the theme of this World Science Forum is science for social justice, which was our proposal in South Africa, that it should be the theme. What do we mean by that? Is that science must serve humanity. And how do we serve humanity in building inclusive society? By actually ensuring that how do we use science to help us confront the very real problems that we are facing. Climate change. How do we mitigate against climate change? That's part of social justice, that's part of responding to people. Also, how do you have a just energy transition so that we don't lose jobs in transitioning, and we are able to provide skills in order to train, especially our young people, in new skills that are needed. For instance, our country needs artisans, but we need more of green artisans now, who are actually going to be able to manage storage places, for hydrogen and so on.
Thank you so much for your time, Minister. A lot of what the Minister was talking about is actually reflected in the cubicle behind us. There have been at least 118 different delegates and stalls and subjects being discussed here at the World Science Forum. In fact, in this little space corridor that we find ourselves, we also have a lot about SKA, the golden child of the Science and Technology Department, breaking ground in Carnarvon in the Northern Cape earlier this week. There's a lot to discuss, and everything comes to a head tomorrow as the conference closes here at the CTICC.